Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Molinex Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Molinex Electric. For all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cookson Hills Marketing Division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to promote with the pros.
Salisol Lumber now offers a complete line of Guardian fiberglass insulation to lower your home or business's electric bill. Whether you want it blown in or batted, Salisol Lumber will professionally install Guardian fiberglass insulation for you. Remember, good results begin with a solid foundation, and that requires the right materials for the job. That's why the pros and do-it-yourselfers trust Salisol Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Molinex Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Molinex Electric. For all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cookson Hills Marketing Division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to promote with the pros.
Salisol Lumber now offers a complete line of Guardian fiberglass insulation to lower your home or business's electric bill. Whether you want it blown in or batted, Salisol Lumber will professionally install Guardian fiberglass insulation for you. Remember, good results begin with a solid foundation, and that requires the right materials for the job. That's why the pros and do-it-yourselfers trust Salisol Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Molinex Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Mullinex Electric, for all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cookson Hills Marketing Division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to promote with the pros.
Center to hold this event, and we are abiding by People Inc.'s policy tonight by only having 2 guests per candidate in the audience. So our audience tonight here in the room is quite small. As a reminder, this is the first of 2 forums. Tonight we will be questioning and hearing from our state representative District 15 race, and then following that we will have our Sequoyah County Commissioners District 2 race. Next Monday, June 15th at 6 o'clock, right here in the People Inc. Conference Center, we'll feature the Sequoyah County Clerk and Sheriff candidates. Our moderator tonight is Marley Abel, Senior Vice President of First Financial in Sallisaw. Marley moderated several of our forums, so we're happy to have him here again tonight. I'll be keeping time and warning candidates to stop if they go over. We'll spend 30 to 40 minutes with our candidates for District 2 State Rep until we run out of questions or time. I'll now turn it over to Marley, and we'll begin. Then we'll have a break and move on to the next candidates. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. We drew hats before we got started, and the introductions tonight will start with Mr. Randy Randleman, and then Ms. Brinley will go next. So, Mr. Randleman, you're free to do your 3-minute introduction.
All right. Pleased to be here tonight. Let me just start out by giving my name. I'm Dr. Randy Randleman. This is my wife, Jennifer. We have 5 children and 4 grandchildren. We live in Longtown, Oklahoma. First thing I want to say is that I'm a Christian clinical school psychologist. I've been in education for 42 years. Also, I run successful 3 businesses, one called Eufaula Lake Family Developmental Center, another one Psychological Services of Oklahoma, and School-Based Services of Oklahoma. During this time, I have been president of all the psychologists in Oklahoma for 2 years. I was chosen out of one of 16 leaders for the American Psychological Association, which governs all the psychologists in the United States. I've served on the State Board of Examiners for 2 years. I've been on the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority Board, Advisory Board. I've consulted with about 13 doctors at this time right now in reducing how much medication that we actually give to children. We serve in 150 schools. We've served in 135 Head Start centers. And one of the common things I do is testify in court on custody cases, things like that. I am strong pro-life. and the Second Amendment. I have been endorsed by the National Rifle Association, also by the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association, the Oklahoma Public Employees Association, and the Oklahomas for Health and Parent Rights. I am a leader. I am strong there in the Capitol. I am on the Education Committee, also on the Children, Youth, and Family Services Committee, serve on the Utilities Committee, and then I am the co-chair of Human Relations, which is the financial part of Medicaid and Medicare. You know, I know when I ran last time that God put me in that position, and I knew that He had something for me. I know my wife and I was there talking about it, and with all the things that I've done in mental health and in schools, you know, kind of like, God, are you done with me? You know, and we kept praying, and that's what we came up with. And then I had about 4 to 5 people the next few weeks that came to me and actually said, you know, have you thought about running? Have you thought about running? So we just couldn't get peace. So we started thinking about that and decided to run, and was very fortunate to meet some good people, even when the people that we ran. But I want to say this to you. It's been an experience up there at the Capitol, frustrating the first month. After I learned the process, it became much better. And I was kind of known as the leader of about 37 freshmen that was up there with me. But I can tell you this, is that I really enjoyed being there, and I will enjoy going back. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Randleman. Now move on to Ms. Brindley. You'll have 3 minutes for your introduction.
Thank you. And again, I would just like to thank you guys for allowing me to be here as well tonight. My name is Angie D. Brindley. I'm running for the Republican House District 15. From family and ministry to business and community service, I have a life history of serving faithfully and leading without looking back. I will bring the same faithfulness and intensity to representing the people in the House District 15. My husband John and I, we've been married 32 years, and we've been blessed to raise our child and grandchildren right here in Oklahoma. Now our daughter and our grandchildren have recently moved to Tennessee, and so that's been extremely difficult for us. We are planning on going next week and picking them up, and I cannot wait to get my hands on my grandbabies. We are also currently expecting our 4th grandchild, and he'll be born in September. So again, we are absolutely enjoying our grandchildren. When we became Christ followers 17 years ago, we hit the ground running. We ministered to the youth and served as medical missionary in Haiti. I've been there twice, once in 2006 and another time in 2008. I can let you know that by being a missionary in Haiti, I think I understand a little bit more even about our sense of community and where we live in Florham, Oklahoma. I know that that currently is our mission field where we are at, and we've been blessed to see a church go from 1 person to, prior to the pandemic, up to about 160 people with a lot of salvations and a lot of children. We feed our kids on Wednesday nights. We've seen our kids just really start to flourish in the community of Florham, Oklahoma. Very proud of them. We've worked with an outreach church in McAllister. We did missions work there. And then in 2015, we started a church called At the Cross, and it's in our hometown of Florham where we currently live. From family to youth to lost souls at home and abroad, we've sought to serve, and we've never looked back. I've served my community as an insurance agent, and when I say my community, I had been in the Muskogee area for 10 years with Oklahoma Farm Bureau Insurance, and then I transferred over to the Sequoyah County and served for about 18 years. So I have been with insurance. I have my Series 6 and my 63, so I am very well versed really in the insurance business, I believe. We currently own the Brindley's Boat and Mini Storage, and we've owned it since 1999. I've been serving at the Florham School Board for 6 years, and I've also served on the board for the Murrow Children's Indian Home. Now God's impressed it upon our hearts to run. I truly believe that we will defend the children and grandchildren and just a legacy that we can lead them. And I appreciate your time, and I'm just so grateful to be here tonight.
Thank you very much. And you'll actually have the first question, so if you want to stay up, you can. The questions, no one has seen the questions yet. As I normally do, I 2 minutes for the questions, yes. I normally finish these at about 10 minutes before I walk in the door. Some of them are obviously very basic, but we try to get to some pointed issues. So we'll start with a pretty basic question. What do you feel are the 3 most important issues that are facing our communities here in rural Oklahoma?
Well, currently, I would say that with even just I would think about just being the consumer, going to the grocery store, purchasing meat, and trying to find food. I hear that the food is going up tremendously. I would think that supporting our farmers and our ranchers, that's really going to be crucial right now. I believe they've been hit pretty hard with the pandemic that we've just gone through with COVID. I believe that's one of the top things that we need to address, along with small businesses. Our small businesses need to thrive. That's where we get our revenue from. That's where we get our tax money from. And anytime that we consider closing down businesses, we are in trouble in the state of Oklahoma. We need to look at how can we tool the businesses so that they can be successful and that we can be supportive, because we want to purchase local. And I know that in rural Oklahoma, local businesses is what's the backbone to our communities, and that's what we need to support. And so and then of course education's huge right now as well. A lot of our children got sent home. Last part of last year, being on the school board and trying to make really fast decisions very quickly. And I wonder if they did not get the education they needed in the last few months of their school year. And I'm wondering again, even on the school board come August, how are we going to make up that time for the children? I think that's going to be a crucial imperative, and then seeing how we're going to get set up in case something like this happens again. Be better prepared. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My wife is a teacher too, so we may need to bring in some psychologists to meet with those teachers when they get sometime during this summer. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Mr. Radelman, we'll ask you the same question. What do you feel are the 3 most important issues facing our communities here in rural Oklahoma?
The very first one that I'm going to mention is our businesses. We have lots of small businesses out here in our community all over District 15. This is one of the things that I brought up to the governor and the Speaker of the House. When we were talking about reopening, I mentioned to them that in rural Oklahoma, we can open a lot faster than what Tulsa can in Oklahoma City and still keep the virus down. I don't know if I did any good. But they did consider that, and opening these businesses and getting things operating, people feeling a part again. You know, it really isolated a lot of people. And when you get isolated, you feel depression, you feel resistant. So getting the morale of the people up, getting the businesses up, I think that is a very important factor. The second one is health and mental health. I think that is one of the most important things. A lot of people, when these type of things hit you, they panic or they revert back and don't get involved out there, and sometimes you isolate yourself, and it just makes everything more difficult. So those are 2 of the things that I feel like that is the most important. The third one is education. I have 42 years in education. I've played every position except for superintendent, and I've certified in that aspect as well. So in talking to the Joy Hoffmeister, they've come up with 3 solutions that we've discussed about getting our schools back into business. The first one is that you can actually go just like we did. You can go to school every day of the week. The second option is you can do virtual school, so that you don't even have to go to school. They can continue doing virtual. The third option is they can do a combination of virtual and school. The final thing that you can actually go on Saturday. So you can tell that that's important in our society here, and plus education is the basic of everything we do.
All right. Thank you very much. Then you'll lead off the next question, so I thought I'd try to catch you before you sat down.
Exercise.
So we'll move on to an education question, since both of you did mention education as 3 of your most important issues in rural Oklahoma. Although educators made strides in compensation, obviously, in the last couple of years, Oklahoma is still closer to the bottom of all the states in total education funding per pupil. Do you think current funding is adequate, too high or too low, and what would you do to support the change if you think there needs to be a change?
I do know this, is that Oklahoma was the bottom of a lot of like funding for teachers and everything like that in the beginning. The teacher raise that we voted in 2 years ago put us up top in our region. Of course, you know, Texas saw that and they're not going to let that happen, so they had another raise, so we came in about second. But the issue on bringing money into the schools, now we have a funding formula. We have a sinking fund, which we do bonds and things like that for our schools. And then we have our ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem taxes are not equal. You are not going to have an equal education in Oklahoma as long as the ad valorem taxes stay that way. So if your ad valorem taxes are high, then you're going to get less state aid. Now, the way the state actually determines that, they do culture, they do low income, they do if you're diagnosed with autism versus ADHD and special education, they change the funding for the schools to try to accommodate that. I know there's a lot of discussion right now of lowering some of those numbers to reduce some of the money, because what we're looking at is about a 4% decrease in every area across the state for this next year. So it's not going to be a year that we have a lot of money and add a lot of things. It's going to be a time that we're going to come up here and we're going to come up with a budget that fits, and know that every department, even education, is going to receive some cut there. So I think we don't have enough. I would love to have more, but just know that that's probably not in our near future. Okay.
Ms. Brindley? Although the educators made strides in compensation last year, Oklahoma is still closer to the bottom in terms of per pupil basis. Do you think the funding is adequate, too high, too low, and what would you do to support the change if you think anything's needed?
Well, do I think it's adequate? No, I absolutely do not think it's adequate. When we sat down at our budget meetings on our local school level, that's one of our largest concerns. Another thing is with children starting to go into they have other options other than public school. And any time that they do have those other options, it does cause a decrease in per child, per school district, per school. So we are definitely being affected by that. And over the last couple of years, we've seen the trend where our income is actually going down instead of up per child. I know that when the pandemic hit, a lot of our children went home, and our school went to trying to feed the children and getting them served and taken care of. I know that's a huge concern, even just on our local level, is making sure that they have the funding to feed our kids, to take care of them that way. Do I think it's adequate? No. We have books that are outdated. We need new books. There's technology. We need more learning. John and I went, and our church painted out one of our classrooms because everything is deteriorating around us. That is a bricks and mortar facility, and we need to somehow figure out how can we keep them up and running and provide the best education that we can for our children. I agree with Mr. Randleman. I believe that next year's budget is going to be extremely difficult to meet those needs, simply because of the taxes and the lack of taxes that will have been paid in this year. So it's going to be a tough year next year, and I think any and all of us would understand that, simply because we're not going to have the same revenue that we had the year prior to. So I honestly believe there's going to be some huge challenges, but we don't want those local school systems to suffer because of it. We need to make the best adjustments we can at that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You'll be the first one up, this next question. I made an executive decision. Y'all are doing a good job of filling the entire 2 minutes. This next question's regarding healthcare. I'm going to up that to 3 minutes because it's kind of got a two-part, so that'll give you a little bit more time. So rural healthcare is an obvious major concern for the citizens in eastern Oklahoma. We've seen multiple small hospitals shutting doors, or at the very least reducing the services that they are able to provide. What plans do you have to strengthen rural health care? And also, as a part of your answer, can you address the state question 802 that we'll all be voting on, that's regarding the Medicaid expansion and whether or not you support its passage?
I apologize about that question. I have not been versed on it, so
Okay.
I apologize for that. I would definitely read upon it and then hopefully have a better answer for you later. As far as health care goes, back in the beginning of my career, we sold health insurance, and that was one of the big complaints, was that it was kind of expensive, or not everybody could purchase it because they may have underlying medical conditions. Since then, of course, we've gone to pretty much a one healthcare system, unless you're employed and that your employer offers you some sort of health care. That is also, I don't believe, is the best solution to the problem in the state of Oklahoma or rural America. Anytime that we have more medical options, I believe that will help drive the cost down, which then makes it more affordable to those that are in the working. From what I find now with our current healthcare system, it's very expensive for the middle class. They're the ones that are kind of footing the bill right now, and somehow we need to give our middle class some sort of break on that, because we are providing for those that around 20,000 or so less, they're getting free medical care. Someone is paying for that, and those prices are being shifted on to the middle class, I believe. As far as the state question goes, again, I have to apologize for that.
Okay.
I was not expecting that question, so,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Randleman, I'll read the question again while you're getting ready. We've seen multiple small hospitals shutting doors, or at the very least reducing services that they're able to provide. What plans do you have to strengthen rural health care? And also, as a part of your answer, can you address the state question 802 regarding the possibility that the state would accept the Medicaid expansion funds, and do you support that passage?
Okay, let me start out by addressing the health care. That was one of my main things to mention that's important for us. Some of the things that we've actually done, we've started acute care in some of the hospitals that have been shutting down. Also, we have some emergency centers. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because my very first bill that I ever passed in the House is telemedicine. And that's Senate Bill 575. And what it is allowing healthcare physicians to do virtual in schools. So you don't know if the kid needs to go home or whether he can spread a disease there in the school. But that can actually be done through telemedicine straight to the school. And we get parent permission at the beginning of school. So it can happen just immediately. It saves the parent from taking off. It saves the kids from leaving the school, and then your ADM's going to go down and you're going to lose money from that. Another thing that I would love to say on that is, if you're familiar with SHOP. SHOP is what we call Supplemental Hospital Offset Program. So your large hospitals in Oklahoma pay SHOP. Last year we paid 2.3%. It went to 2.8%. The governor's wanting it to go to 5-point-something%. Now, what SHOP is your major big hospitals pay up front to the small hospitals so they can survive. But what's interesting about it, after a period of time, those large hospitals get double the money back. But it actually gives the money to the hospitals to actually work. In fact, there were 6 small hospitals that actually shut down. Trey Caldwell, another state representative, worked with me on getting our hospital in Stigler back up, and I can go more into that, but I think I'd better get to the next question. On Medicaid expansion, I am definitely against it. People don't realize what this is going to do to the state. Medicaid expansion, if you vote it through, it becomes part of the Oklahoma Constitution. If it's in the Constitution, us as legislators cannot change it. There's no funding for it. And if that goes through that way, you're going to see massive cuts, and probably in education as well, because you have to. Education takes up 51% of our budget. So the thing about with Medicaid, if we went with Sooner Care 2.0, just know that that does the same thing. Medicaid expansion is going to give $2 billion. The other one's going to get $2 billion. I think it's 1 instead of 2. But it's the same way. Medicaid expansion gives you things. Sooner Care Point 2 gives you the money and everything to get you going, but then it's going to pull it back. So it teaches you responsibility in healthcare, and that's what we need in the state of Oklahoma.
Thank you very much. You'll be first up on the next question. Sorry, waited till you sat down. This next one will talk about the revenue shortfalls. Earlier you mentioned that there was about a 4% shortfall, possibly. Revenue shortfalls are most likely going to be a growing concern over the next couple of years. What can the state do to increase revenues? Are there any areas that you see as potential sources for new revenue which can help alleviate our reliance on the oil and gas industry?
Definitely. There's going to be a shortfall. Before we planned on a budget of $55 a barrel for oil, went down to 13. It is low now, so we know that we're going to have that shortfall coming back in for us. So we want to have a situation where we're not always continually depending on oil and gas, and that's our main one. So what the governor did before was put $200 million back for that next year. I'm a saver. I'm going to go out and strive in business and stuff like that, but I'm going to put money back for those times. In schools, we'll have that kind of money. We'll have some of the rainy day fund. We'll also have a surplus in what we call a pension system. That's where in teacher education, what they do is we pay 5% extra since 2004, so we have some money built up there. And here's a good example of it. If you buy a car and you pay $300 a month on that car, or that's what the payment is, but you pay $325 every month, that gives you the extra money. So that's what saved education this last year, or it would have had a cut. So I think that's important. The other thing is allowing our farmers to actually sell directly. If we can't do trades that are appropriate, then our farmers have to be able to do that. Our beef, our ranchers have to be able to do that, because even in ranching, your biggest issue is actually poultry and pork. That's the biggest issue. But the issue then selling abroad, we have to sell abroad because in some areas of the meats, and whether it's the tongue of the cow or whatever, gives a much bigger price across seas than what we get here. We throw some of that away. So we have to be able to work our trade with other countries, but we have to know that we have to protect the United States, and we want to be able to provide everything we need here within, not pulling it from the other area.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Brindley, we'll ask you the same question. Revenue shortfalls will most likely be a growing concern over the next couple of years. What can the state do to increase revenues and help alleviate our reliance on the oil and gas industry?
Okay. Did I have a few moments left before on my last question as well, by chance? I don't know that I exceeded it. Could I use a little bit of that time now?
We don't carry over. We don't carry it over.
No? Okay. All right. Okay, so I'll just wait on the other. As far as revenue goes, I have to agree with the local farmer and rancher. We need to put that back into their playing field. I don't necessarily agree with doing out of country and dealing with Argentina and Brazil and other places and selling our meats to foreigners necessarily. I believe that we should put the power back into our local farmers and ranchers. I believe the packing houses now are basically owned throughout the United States by Argentina and Brazil and other places. I believe that's been a huge detriment to our local farmers and ranchers, and I believe that we need to take care of our local people first. I believe that's going to be extremely important, and I believe that we need to take, and like I said, stand up for that economy, work with the farmers and ranchers here locally, and make sure that we can put meat on the table, meat in the marketplace, and buy local. A lot of the people that I've spoken to, they want to know, where is the country of origin? Where am I purchasing my meat from? Where am I getting my products from? And we can do that here in the state of Oklahoma, and we should. As far as the gas and oil industry goes, of course, we were all affected by that during the COVID epidemic. The gas prices dropped to an all-time low. And of course, that's going to affect, again, the revenue of the state of Oklahoma. The more people get out on the road, they start driving again. Of course, that'll boost up the economy as well. And then if we just need to get behind our local businesses. I believe that's going to be crucial. We need to come up with some sort of programs, incentives to start new businesses, and also to know that we have their back, if you will, that we're not just going to totally shut down and cause them to close their doors, which is what's happened through the last pandemic, if you will. So we need to maybe give some forethought so that we do not let that happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. And you'll be first up on this next question. So if you were to win this election and have the opportunity to completely solve what you perceive as the number one issue in your time in office, what would you want your legacy to be?
I would like my legacy to be, when we talk about being pro-life, I want to see abortion stopped. I don't want to talk about it any longer. I believe we continually get bills set out that we just kind of chop away at the tree instead of taking out the root. And I believe right now it's time to take out the root of abortion. We need to have that stopped. There's no excuse for it. I heard a gentleman say, until we get that right, there's nothing else in our state that's going to go right. Once we take care of the abortion, I believe other things will start falling into place. I am a business person. I understand business. I've been doing this for a long time. I understand small businesses, and I understand what it takes, hard work. That's the legacy I would like to leave. I'm on the Merle Indian Orphanage Board, and I have recently gone through the DHS contract. There's some things going on that we're exposing our children to that needs to stop. It's called, there's a 26-page addendum. It's called the Gay, Lesbian, Transgender Act. And that addendum, when a person decides they're going to foster care, they attach, the DHS has this attachment, and inside that, we are told at the orphanage that if we had a 14-year-old boy and he identified as a girl, we were expected to put this child into the girls' cottage. And that is a travesty. It needs to stop. Those are the things that I would work on, that I would want my legacy to be. On the telemedicine, with the telemedicine, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I'm on the local school board as well. And when a consent form is given for 1 year, that parent has signed over their rights to the school for 1 year. That will allow them to do all things short of, the only exclusion is an abortion. And I don't know anyone that wants to give over that type of right of their child in reference to telemedicine and let people diagnose their child from through a computer. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Randleman, if you were to win this election and have the opportunity to completely solve one issue during your time in office, what would you want your legacy to be?
That is real quickly pro-life. I told you I was strong in that in the very beginning. This is a life that God created. God gave us the ability to actually raise that child. And really, I heard a synopsis the other day that I thought was really good, is when you have a baby in the hospital, you do not see DHS coming and taking that child. You do not see a school bus taking that child and the school paying that way. It goes to the parents. The parents have to learn how to raise that child. Now, I've been in psychology for 26 years, and what we do is we teach parents from the very beginning, how to discipline the child, how to balance out the nurturing and discipline and teach the child in a godly manner. I wrote my dissertation, it's 177 pages on managing the aggressive child. Every page of that dissertation was biblical. OSU did not even know it, but it was biblical, and the discipline was taught just like what God would do with us. So do know that once that sperm hits that egg, that is life, and we're to protect that life. And I think in these situations and counseling, gosh, I've counseled so many youth that may be pregnant or not knowing what to do. And if you look at the records, I defeated a bill on conversion therapy at the Capitol. And that was a bill that would stop an LPC or even a pastor, if you had an LPC license, from talking to a child that thought he wanted to be gay, etc., and the parent wanted you to visit with that child, if that bill would have passed, that could not have happened. That pastor would have lost his license. No one recognized that bill at the Capitol but me, and we put a stop to that bill through our floor leader.
Thank you very much. We will now go on to our conclusions, and this will start with Ms. Brindley this time. And you have 3 minutes for your conclusion. Thank you.
Well, again, I would just like to thank everybody for allowing me to be here tonight. As your representative, I promised that I would defend our Constitution. Our Constitution's been, I believe, under attack this last few months. I promised to stand for the First Amendment right. We pastored a church. Throughout this pandemic, we were instructed or told that we should shut down the church doors. We never did shut our church doors. We went outside. We had services outside. But we believe that that is one of our main constitutional rights, that we have the right to assemble peaceably. And that's one right that we need to stand up for now, more importantly, I believe, than ever. Also, the Second Amendment right, with all the rioting that's going on in this great nation, we should not be allowing the rioting. I believe in freedom of speech, but rioting needs to be stopped, and it needs to be stopped now. We have the right to bear arms, and inside the bearing of arms, we are a militia in the state of Oklahoma. And anytime, that is our duty to defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and so I promise to defend that. I also carry, so I believe it's very important that we protect ourselves, protect our families, protect our property, and protect the great United States that we live in, and the state of Oklahoma. I promise that I'll fight to keep the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that my goal is to protect and defend life. I believe that's probably been a calling that I have had on my heart for a very long time. I promise that I'll fight for the most vulnerable. When I say that I am going to go to Oklahoma City, and if I get in and become the House of Representative, District 15, I promise that one of the first things to do is to stop abortion. It's time we need to stop abortion. Not talk about it, we need to do it. And then the children in foster care, extremely important. Our children, I've heard it said, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And when these babies go into the foster care system, they're at the mercy of whatever the system is dictating to them. And I believe that it is our duty to look out for how those bills are written and how they will affect our children. And I promise that I will look in and we will get some of those things corrected. I'm not there to play games. I'm not going to go to play politics. I'm going to stop the abortion, protect the children, and protect the elderly. There's a bill out there right now that's called the Death Certificate Accuracy Act. It was voted in, and the nutshell of that bill is, and I've got 15 seconds, but the nutshell of that bill is that if you have a loved one that goes into hospice, there is a chain of events that happens to get them to that position, and if they die because of being medicated with morphine, lose their appetite, lose their sense of wanting to drink, and they starve, that Death Certificate Accuracy Act will state that they died from suicide. And that type of writing and getting past laws needs to stop.
Thank you very much. Mr. Randleman, you have 3 minutes for your conclusion.
Okay, thank you very much. The most important thing to me is that I'm a Christian, and I know God placed me in that house, and I know my work's not done, and will continue doing that. Give you an example, just like pro-life, very important, most important thing to happen. Also like the telemedicine, there are 13 schools in this area that have taken up the telemedicine. They get a parent permission, but every time you talk on the computer, it gives another permission. So that parent knows everything that's going on with that child. The Second Amendment is very important because it's not the guns who kill people. It's the people behind those guns. And if we don't get that mental health there to serve those people, you'll see that getting worse. Tell you one thing that we started is a mental health court. This is a kid that's out there causing problems. We don't just lock him up. We'll send him to mental health court where he gets the services he needs and then still keep him accountable. But I want to use this time quickly. Here's the bills that I have authored or co-authored. It's House Bill 2196, actually naming the state horse. 2194, allowing mental health workers to work along with physicians. This 2195, the SIPAC bill, allowing individuals to go across the state line so you can get cheaper health. The fetal alcohol syndrome bill, 3403, teaching doctors and nurses how to look at the neurology and keep up on the data. 3406, helping foster care parents know how to work with fetal alcohol syndrome kids. Telemedicine that I mentioned to you. The co-authors, now those are the ones I wrote. As a freshman, I wrote 7 bills and then turned around and wrote 5 bills as a second term as a freshman. These are my co-authors. Tag agencies, making sure the tag agency can get some of the tax money rather than going to the state. 3967, that we cannot bar relationships with Israel. Another one is that on 3817 is that we can display "In God We Trust" on buildings. 3400 APA courses in high school. 3546 mental health treatment for individuals. House Bill 3389 studies graduation requirements. House Bill 3388 Oklahoma network billing system. House Bill 3029 transparency in healthcare. 2905 Virtual Charter School Transparency Act. 2891 Veteran Suicide Awareness. And finally, 1182 by Olson, which is an abortion bill to save our children. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank both of our candidates for being here, Angela Brindley as well as Dr. Randleman. The early voting, I believe, is June 25th, 26th, and 27th, and Election Day for the primary is June 30th, so please go out and vote. We will take a short break and come back with our county commissioner candidates. Thank you.
Salisol Lumber now offers a complete line of Guardian fiberglass insulation to lower your home or business's electric bill. Whether you want it blown in or batted, Salisol Lumber will professionally install Guardian fiberglass insulation for you. Remember, good results begin with a solid foundation, and that requires the right materials for the job. That's why the pros and do-it-yourselfers trust Salisol Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Mullinax Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Mullinax Electric. For all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cooks and Hills marketing division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to promote with the pros.
Salisol Lumber now offers a complete line of Guardian fiberglass insulation to lower your home or business's electric bill. Whether you want it blown in or batted, Salisol Lumber will professionally install Guardian fiberglass insulation for you. Remember, good results begin with a solid foundation, and that requires the right materials for the job. That's why the pros and do-it-yourselfers trust Salisol Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Molinex Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Molinex Electric. For all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cookson Hills Marketing Division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to...
Back to our forum tonight. We just finished up with our District 15 candidates, and now we're going to move on with our Sequoyah County Commissioners District 2 candidates. Next Monday night at 6 p.m., we will have the Sequoyah County Court Clerk and the Sheriff candidates in a similar form from 6 to about 7:30. Want to again thank our moderator, Marley Abel, Senior Vice President of First Financial in Sallisaw. He's moderated several of these forums, and we appreciate his volunteering. Our candidates for County Commissioner District 2 are incumbent Steve Carter, Jay Allrad, Bo Burleson, and Mike Cobb. We've drawn names for our order, and we'll start with Mr. Cobb for opening, and then go to Mr. Burleson, Mr. Allrad, and Mr. Carter. And Marley is keeping a track of that as he goes through the questions to make sure that we keep some sort of order. So with that, I'll turn it over to Marley.
All right. Thank you very much. And as Jeff stated, I volunteered for this. I think I got volunteered for this. There's a little difference. But all right, we'll go ahead and start with the intros. And as Jeff said, Mr. Cobb, I believe, was first up. You'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Mike Cobb. I've lived in Sequoyah County for the past 18 years. My wife and I have 8 kids, a 9th one that we're raising, 8 grandchildren. I spent 35 years in the aircraft. 2 months ago today, I retired. What I bring to the table is years of troubleshooting and problem solving, 10 years of dealing with multi-million-dollar budgets ranging from $7 to $15 million, 10 years of audit experience from local to customer to international audits, 9 years as Cherokee Nation foster parents, 5 years on the local school board in Vian. I've served on different boards over the past 30 years ranging from business to civic to church. The majority of my adult life has been spent serving others. I've heard a lot of talk about fair and equal treatment for all, and I know that each of us can find those who will swear by us and how fairly we treat others. I can also guarantee you that we can find people who will point out when sometime that we didn't act fairly, and none of us are exempt from this. I believe to be an effective county commissioner, you need to have some understanding of road construction, maintenance, knowledge of how to crown a road, blade angles, ditch dimension, the importance of cutting out the potholes and ruts, as well as how to properly address the soft spots. We need to clean out our watersheds to allow for proper runoff to help reduce road flooding and washouts. Knowing when, where, and how to place additional culverts is a must. Understanding a road, if a road needs a new base, just blading, more gravel, is critical. How are you going to know if your road foreman is doing his job if you don't know anything about roads? Experience with large budgets, audits, dealing with different government agencies at various levels is beneficial as well. Serving different leadership roles on diverse boards gives you the insight to bring people together to achieve common goals. person only needs to drive the back roads of Marble City, Evening Shade, Gore, or Vian to realize that it's time for a new county commissioner. Poorly maintained gravel roads, paved roads, 5 years old or less that are already crumbling and falling apart because the base wasn't properly prepared. We can do better. You deserve better, and I will deliver better. I've worked 12-hour days for most of the past 35 years, 10 and 12 hours a day, and nobody will work harder than I will. And tonight, I ask for your vote for County Commissioner, District 2.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cobb. We'll now move on to Mr. Burleson.
Thank you for having me. My name's Bo Burleson. I live in Evening Shade, Oklahoma, with my wife, Mary. It's our anniversary tonight, so she told me to keep it brief. So maybe we can go out and get some dinner. But once again, I want to thank you guys for your time. I live in Evening Shade, just north of Vian, with my son Joey and my 2 lab dogs, Boss Hog and the Honey Badger. You know, a lot of people call that God's country, and I tend to agree. I'm right in the middle of some of the best hunting and fishing that a guy could ask for, and these are things that I hold near and dear to my heart. My parents moved here when I was 4 years old to run racehorses right down the road at Blue Ribbon Downs. I watched them hammer out a living, and I learned a lot of my values from them just right down the road here. I graduated from Vian High School. Then I went on to get an education degree from NSU. Since then, I've been employed by Vian Public Schools as a teacher and a coach. Mike works on the school board. He hired me as the head wrestling coach. There, I'm also the head wrestling coach, so I understand the importance of working well with others. Being there to support them, I understand also as a head coach of how my decisions direct everybody beneath me, both directly and indirectly. You know, I've served as a youth league coach in our community for nearly 20 years. I can't replace that part of my life. That is really what shaped me as a man as I grew up. I've considered it an honor to serve. I have a proven heart for service, and that's what I plan to bring to this office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to Mr. Allred.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Name's Jay Allred. Lived in District 2, just right there north of Vian for the past 10 years. Been associated with the county for roughly 30 years. Come from Osage County up there in Pusk, Oklahoma. Graduated high school there in 1985. Went to NEO for 2 years, NSU for a year and a half. Went and got a job. Basically, I've ranched my entire life here and there. What I'm bringing to the table for this is maintenance, right-of-ways, and the citizens of Sequoyah County in District 2. As previously stated, maintenance and right-of-ways is a major issue from north end, south end, east side, west side. It doesn't matter where you go, just listen to the people of the district. They'll all tell you the same thing. This cannot be taken care of overnight. By no means can it be taken care of. I understand new projects, yes, they need to continue, but at the same time, we have to take care of what we already currently have and keep it maintained. Flooding is an issue on our right-of-ways or on our roads. Evening Shade is prime example. Big heavy floods, there's nowhere for the water to go other than right down the middle of the Blacktop Road. Like I say, it's just issues that has to be taken care of, cannot be taken care of overnight. You can't be everywhere at the same place. School bus routes. If I do make it to office, those are the roads that will come first. Those school buses, the children, they need everything that we can possibly give them. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to Mr. Steve Carter. Give your intro, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, good evening. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Steve Carter. And for those of you that do know me, I'm still Steve Carter. Now, I want to thank KXMX, and I want to thank Sequoyah County Times, People Inc. for allowing us to do this right here. This has been I've done this for years, and this is a great thing to do for the people. Allows people a chance to see the candidates as they are. Now, I'm a lifelong resident of Sequoyah County. I've lived here all my life. I graduated from Gore School. After graduating Gore School, I went to the Army. Done 3 years in the Army as a combat medic. Then I come back and I went to OSU, and I graduated from OSU and got a bachelor's degree in science up there. Then I come on down here, and I'm a retired armed worker. But I was, after I got out of that and I come to county commissioner, I've been here for 15 years, 5 months, and 8 days. And in this time, we've seen numerous of projects happen, a lot of progress in our county that we never seen before. Now, when I ran in 16 years ago as a county commissioner, the two things I heard were our 911's broke, it's not fixed, and I heard that we were a donor county and that Oklahoma was a donor state. Well, we fixed the 911 right quick, and I said, well, we don't want to be a donor county no more. We want to get out of that. We want to with congressmen and representatives and senators and first one and another, and I got us to a point where we're no longer a donor county anymore. We receive federal dollars that we've never got before. That's why you see all the progress that we're doing. That's why you see the Cherokee Nation project out here at Dwight Mission. That's got Cherokee Nation money, federal money, state money. That's networking that got all that, and we don't want to be back there again. We want to stay being a non-donor county. There's a lot of counties that call us and they'll say, how do we do that, Steve? How do we do this? How do we do that? Now we've got other counties in the state that are not donor counties as well, but we want to give them that title back. We don't want to be a donor county no more. We like receiving the federal dollars that we get. We love it. That's why we're getting all this. Now, we don't have enough money to maintain everything that we do. So we can get, like this 532-foot bridge we've got down here south of town. That's all money. That didn't come to, it's not our county money. It didn't come from here. It comes from somewhere else. It took a lot of networking, a lot of working with other people, a lot of talking, a lot of salesmanship to get that money to come to our county so we could have these. There will be no more people down here going off this low water crossing down here that got washed down by the water, that drowned, like the kid that drowned down there. There won't be no more of that now. This bridge will be fixed. It'll be over there. It'll be something to look at. It'll be something beautiful for our county. The White Missionary, that'll be something beautiful for our county that they never expected to happen. But it's going to happen now, and thank you, and thanks to Cherokee Nation and the efforts that they gave to get that done. It's going to be wonderful. And it's coming to our county. That's the mainest thing. It's coming to it's not going somewhere else. It's coming here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll now move on and start the questions. First person up will be Mr. Burleson. Very important question. Can you explain to us why we should vote for you even though you don't have a cowboy hat on? I'm just kidding. That's not the question.
Well, that was a good one. But I've got a cowboy hat. I just didn't bring it.
So what made you decide to run for county commissioner? Usually people that run for office, they have a primary reason behind that. So that's the question I'm going to ask each of you is what made you decide to run for county commissioner this time?
Yes, sir. It started out, I mean, you've heard the word Evening Shade up here a few times. That's where I live. I don't know what I'm stuck in the middle of, but I know it's affected me negatively. As far as, me going to work, my wife going to work, my sister lives up that road. It's highly traveled road. Just some of the things that I see needs for is leadership. That's something that I bring to the table. That's something that I've proven that I've done. Respect. We may not see eye to eye on every decision I make, but I will address every situation with an open mind and be respectful to the people that I'm. Feel like we need fair and fair representation to our entire district, not to the whole district, all of us. I mentioned that the roads up by my house, that's where this kind of started. That was kind of the seed, and as we went on, I just saw a need. I mean, not just in my area, but in other areas. They've been mentioned, the road maintenance, the cleaning out of ditches. I've been to people's houses where the ditches haven't been cleaned out and the water's pushing up against their house now. Those type of things that if I can help in any way, I have a heart for service. I want to serve these people. I want to bring, everybody exactly what they, I know I can't serve everybody, but I want to try my best to serve the public, equally. Kind of got hung up on that question, but that's all I really have right there.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you very much. Next person will be Mr. Allred. And same question, what made you decide to run for county commissioner?
I'm not going to be able to move to Cherokee County like I've wanted to in the past. My wife and I, we decided that we're staying here. If we moved north, I was going to run for commissioner in Cherokee County, but like I said, we're staying here. The reason that I'm wanting to run down here, I've worked with the local government. I've worked with the 3 commissioners up there on a daily basis. Those are the 3 men that I answer to. Whenever they call, that's who signs my paycheck, which they sign all of our paychecks, but that's who I answer to, is our 3 commissioners up there. I can continue on our floodplain board up there. Over that, for Cherokee County, we have 5 members up there. And flooding in Cherokee County is a major issue, as everybody knows. But it also trickles right down in here into Sequoyah County, as well as Steve knows. When we get major floods, it all goes into Tenkiller. Cato Creek, that's an issue down there. It gets shut down, the roads closed down, same as in Cherokee County. The lake for us is not a major issue. It's all of our tributaries up there. But don't like you too well right now. But once again, back to why, I just feel like I can bring more to this district. I work with, like I said, work with the government. I work with the citizens on a daily basis, and I just feel like I have quite a bit to offer.
Thank you. The next person up will be Mr. Steve Carter. And same question, you might want to relate it to 16 years ago, but what made you decide to run for a county commissioner?
Well, it's still on?
Yep.
Okay. Well, 16 years ago, I listened to a guy, and he said his name was, he said that I don't endorse something if I don't think it's the best in the world. That's the way it was. Well, I feel the same way. And whenever 16 years ago, I said I endorse Sequoyah County 100% because I've lived here all my life. This is the only place I know. So I think that Sequoyah County needed better. I thought that Sequoyah County needed better, and they do need better. And that's why I ran for county commissioner. So that's why I work hard every day like I do. It's a 24/7 job, 365 days a year. Yesterday, I got a call from a guy. He wanted to put in a library in Sequoyah County. That's on Sunday. He called me and asked me, would it be possible? I said, we'd have to look into it. But I want to tell you that, over the past 15 years, well, actually the first year, but I'm the only OSU accredited county commissioner in Sequoyah County. I'm also an OSU Rhodes Scholar, which Rhodes Scholar doesn't mean like Ivy League school. It means that you have taken all the courses necessary at OSU to be accredited as a roadman. And that's what I've done. Now, in this election, you're going to hear stuff like availability. You're already hearing stuff like maintenance, and you're hearing stuff like, like leadership. You're hearing leadership. Well, you have all these things already, so why would you need anything else? You've got the best maintenance program that there is out there. We have the best roads that we could have. We're adding more blacktop to the roads every day. With help of Cherokee Nation, we'll have 10 miles right up here. So you've got all these things, so what more do you need? You've got the best as it is. I've got the best road crew that there is. I've got the best leadership as far as a foreman goes there is, so what more could you ask for? So thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Cobb, what made you decide to run for county commissioner?
Well, because I drive on some of those best roads around. As a cattleman, and I live on a dirt road or gravel road, it's known. Within half a mile of my house right now, for the past 2 weeks, there are 3 spots that are washed out in that road, and you have barely enough room to get by with 1 vehicle. I can tell you from driving up to Marble City and places like that and seeing the gravel piled 6 or 8 inches high on the edge of the road, nowhere for the water to go when it rains but straight down the road to wash it out. These are things that made me decide we can do better. Now, do I have all the answers for everything? Absolutely not. But I can tell you this, we can set a schedule and maintain those roads better, understand which ones are the heaviest traveled. Now, there are times that things come up and you have that gully washer takes out something unexpectedly. But when it keeps happening time and time again, and your ditches have as much gravel as your road does in them, that's a problem. That's not proper maintenance. So these are the things that made me decide. Also, I think that we need to address jobs in this county. Be more proactive in recruiting them. I'm not against blacktopping roads, but understand something. I want to make sure we're maintaining the roads we have, and we have some blacktop roads that need blacktopping again. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to chase every dollar I can and find it and fight for it and claw and scratch, because I believe the people in District 2 deserve better than what we're getting right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to the second question. This will start with Mr. Allred. One of the responsibilities as the county commissioner is to work with a yearly budget that impacts about 160 employees and over 40,000 residents of our county. What experience do you have in formulating and adhering to budgets that are anywhere near the size of our county, which is about $4 million roughly?
Well, my wife and I, we own our own business. By far, it is not a $4 million budget. There's times I wished it was, and then there's times I'm thankful that it's not. But back to this $4 million budget, everything is a learning game, no matter what you do in life. From Mr. Carter to me to Bo, all of us. Surely we can learn something new every day. But when it comes to people, when it comes to delegating jobs, and just lost my train of thought on this one. But back to your budget, yes, I mean, I can delegate what has to be done. I can do the budget. If not, I have people, I make phone calls, I can get my answers that I have to get. Like I said, I just totally lost train of thought on this question right here on where I was going, but that's all that I have for it right this minute.
Yeah.
I do apologize.
You're right. Let's see. Next up, we'll have Mr. Carter. Go second this time. Obviously, the responsibilities of county commissioners to work with budgets. What experience do you have in formulating budgets?
Well, for the past 15 years, I've helped do the budget in the county, and it's been pretty good. I mean, here lately, the past few years, we've had a pretty good budget. We hadn't had any shortfalls. Back years ago, I was implemented a deal there. I said, we need to start putting money into in ad valorem. We're talking ad valorem tax here now. That's what we're talking about, because that's where the money comes from for the budget of the county. Back years ago, we had a deal there, and I said, we need to start putting some money into a commissioner's account at the courthouse so that the commissioners can draw money off of this as well as everybody else, but it'll also put us a slush fund in there so we can have it when it comes time for the budget to end, like it's going to end here at the end of this month. And this allowed us to keep from having to pay for interest rates that we'd have to do if we went out for taxable warrants. So we use this right here, and over the past few years, we've had a surplus of money, so we hadn't had to go get the taxable warrants, so it saved our county a lot of money. Now, and as far as the law goes, we're allowed to take our first deputy from our budget, or from the ad valorem taxes. We can take our first deputy and draw his salary out of the county commissioner's budget at the courthouse too. So I talked them into doing that so we could put more money into the road system itself. And that allowed us another $30,000, $40,000 a year to put into the road budget that we could use to fix the roads with and maintain the roads as they needed. Now that's the progress that we've made for the money that we've got. Now, there's never enough money in the county. I don't care what you do, how you do it. There's never enough money in the county. You can do what you got to do. But, you know, you'll always be short as far as money goes, and it's a very hard thing to find the money that you need. And with the help of all the legislators that we've had in the past there and the ones we've got, that we've got now, that we've been able to get this money to come to the county so we could do all the things that we need to do. Now, like, again, we're never going to have enough. We're never going to have enough. So we always have to be looking. We always have to be reaching and always be asking. And that's part of the commissioner's job right there, is to do that.
Thank you. Next up, we'll ask Mr. Cobb. Same question. Give us some examples of you working with budgets, adhering to budgets, somewhere near the size of, have you done anything near the size of our county, which is around 4 million?
I spent 5 years on what was called the local joint committee, a committee between the union and management at the plant for 5 years down there. And part of our job was to figure out how to divide up our budget. We had an annual budget between $10 and $15 million. We had to decide what capital improvements, what's your labor cost, what's your electric, water, gas, all these different costs, and how do you allocate for it? How much overtime? How much are you going to have for insurance? Things of this nature that you have to understand. With the school for the last little over 5 years, we have a budget around $7 to $8 million per year for Ryan Public Schools, and so you have to figure out your teacher salary, all these things. Obviously, you have people other than just yourself involved, like with the county commissioners. There's 3 county commissioners that work on this and others that contribute their input into this budget. And, you know, your county commissioner, your road foreman, they're paid out of the ad valorem. Your district budget comes off of your sales tax in. So, you know, different budgets that you're working there with. But the basic county budget around $4 million, yes, that's correct. And I have worked with budgets that size. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Burleson. Same question. Obviously, part of your responsibility will be working with yearly budgets and formulating them. What kind of experience do you have with that?
Well, I'm in public education, so I understand about, getting the most out of your dollars. It's not the best funded thing out there. As they say that, we're always going to be short money in the county, and we're going to get the most. I'm going to try to get the most out of every dollar that we can get. I will aggressively pursue any avenues out there to, the same opportunities out there for all of us. If we go create the relationship with people to, build a relationship where we can go get this money, I will aggressively pursue those avenues to financially benefit our district in any way that I can. There's a lot of people's families that are riding on this, as you say, so it's a big responsibility. It's something that I take very seriously as far as budgeting for me through the school. I'm a head wrestling coach, so we have a budget. We're talking about uniforms. We're talking about trips, overnight stays, motels, but nothing of $4 million as you're talking about. But it's something that we can all learn, that I can learn. It's something that I will learn, given the opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the third question, and we'll start this time with Mr. Carter. So what do you feel are the 3 most important issues that you'd like to tackle over your next term, if you're reelected?
That's a good question. Well, there's a lot of issues out there for the county, but, I agree with the jobs part of it there 100%, but we're not going to have any jobs come to this county if we don't progress. And there's only 3 things that makes a county, our job over here at McKee Hill, those brought a lot. They buy food, they buy gas, they buy bubble gum, whatever they buy. That all adds to the tax dollars that we take into here. And I know with all this mess we got going on right now with this corona stuff, the tax dollars are going to be down some, and we're expecting it to happen. So we actually have to keep pushing these things to do it, to make sure that our economy stays solvent as we possibly can keep it. And that's the only thing that I can do to make it happen, is to keep pushing and working working 24/7 to get these things happening. And it's not an easy thing to get these jobs going. But when you do something like a job like a McKee Hill out there, everybody on that road prospers. Because they all get paid money for their right-of-ways. They all going to have a better road when it's all said and done. Their properties will be worth more when it's all said and done. So we have to progress, and we have to lay more asphalt in order to have that, okay? Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next up, we will go to Mr. Cott. Be the same question. What do you feel are your three most important topics you'd like to tackle if you're elected?
Well, first of all, infrastructure. Roads, bridges, the communications, broadband network, things that companies look for to bring jobs. It's nice to have the jobs that come in, which is the second thing. It's nice to have the jobs come in when they build the roads. But when the road's done, those jobs and that income for our communities leave. I want sustainable jobs, jobs that are not up and down with the markets constantly. You look at Southwest Missouri, they have a lot of food processing in that area too, that are consistent jobs. I have a cousin that works in a cheese factory, and he said, the worse the economy gets, the more people eat cheese. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he always says. But folks, we need to do things that create an atmosphere that make people want to put their jobs here. Education, the third key element. Make a workforce that brings to the table what a company needs. If a company needs somebody to be trained to be machinist, all right, let's up our game in training people to be machinists if you'll come. Give them the infrastructure. Here's what I've learned. You may remember a few years ago, I believe it was the state of Indiana, gave $500 million to a company that built air conditioning units because they wanted to stay. At the end of the year, they said, thank you for the $500 million. We built our plant in Mexico with it, and the jobs are leaving. Money walks, infrastructure stays here, it's ours. If we have to build a building to recruit a business, build the building, we own it, and we'll record another business with it if they leave. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Burleson, you'll be next. What do you feel are the three most important issues that you'd like to tackle if you're elected?
First is appropriate funding. That's something that we need. It's been talked about up here. You know, like I said earlier, I'll aggressively pursue all avenues to build relationships that will financially benefit our district as a whole. Next is road maintenance. That seems to be a really big topic here today. I will focus on proper maintenance of existing roads. You know, cleaning out ditches, pushing back limbs. You know, fixing issues and not just patching issues, so we're not just chasing our tail all the time. You know, I understand that there's some places that you just simply, by the lay of the land, are a hard fix. But, you know, if we can fix an issue and move on and not come back and address it time and time again, I think that's good business. You know, these roads negatively impact all citizens in our district, our schools, and our emergency services. These are things that definitely need to be looked at and improved upon. Next, you know, supporting our communities right now in the last year. Support of our communities is something that's really came up with the floods and the virus and you know, just, you know, community just coming together as a whole. There's a lot of issues going on there now, and you know, that's the backbone of rural Oklahoma is our communities, and I've seen a lot of good come from just the community building right there a mile or so from my house on Evening Shade. I've seen a lot of people doing a lot of good things, helping a lot of people out. I'll look for opportunities to support these programs and look for existing programs out there to support this, and anything I can do to bring our community together, that is definitely a positive. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Allred, you'll be the last one up for this question. What do you feel are the three most important issues that you'd like to tackle if you're elected?
Something that has not been hit on tonight, and it is a major issue in District 2, is signage. Stop signs, chevrons, curve signs, you name it, bridge markers. That is a major issue in this district. You can go to, Sequoyah County is not the worst, I promise you. It's not. Nothing against Adair County, but go to Adair County. Like I said, I'm over our sign shop in Cherokee County, and that is, we pride ourselves on our signage. Stop signs is of a major concern. If we get a phone call in the middle of the night, I have two men that work underneath me. One's in north end of the county, I'm at the south end of the county, one's on the west side. Whichever one of us is the closest to whatever location, doesn't matter what time of night, if the sheriff calls or commissioner calls, we go and we fix that stop sign. That is major. If somebody runs that stop sign, what a lot of people don't realize is the county's liable for this. Like I said, this is a major issue in here. That's one of them. Listening to the citizens, and once again, here we go back to maintenance on the roads and our right-of-ways. There's so much that is of concern. But like I said, signage is one of them that is a major one. And it's not cheap. Once again, here we go. And like everybody's saying, there's never enough money for the counties, no matter what. You got to look, you got to hunt, and you got to dig to get every penny that you can possibly get. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the last question, and we'll start this one with Mr. Cobb. Several of you have, I'm kind of editing the question that I had written down here. Several of you talked about jobs in some form or another, and the question I had down was, how do you feel the county commissioners can help foster economic growth with Sequoyah County? It kind of got me thinking. I've sat on lots of different boards throughout Sallisaw, and we probably haven't included the county commissioners as much as we should. I don't really know why that is. So that takes us back to that question, how can we cooperate better with county commissioners to foster economic growth beyond what we've been doing just as a citywide basis for so many different cities in Sequoyah County?
Let us know what you need. Very simple. I dare say that if you came to Mr. Carter and said, hey, we need your help on this, he's not going to sit back and say, no, I don't want jobs here. I mean, that's common sense. Your county commissioner can also help you actively recruit those businesses, especially if they have contacts in the business world. The more that we work together, the stronger our communities are, the stronger our county is, the stronger our state is. I believe that we live in the greatest nation in the world and the greatest nation ever. I love Oklahoma. Through my career in my 35 years, I had opportunities to go to other states and make a new life there in it. I chose here. After moving to Sequoyah County, I had an opportunity to go to several states away with my job, and it was a really good offer. My wife and I looked and said, no, Vian, Oklahoma is where we live. Vian, Oklahoma is where we're raising our kids, and Vian, Oklahoma is where we both plan on living until we die. As a county commissioner, however that I could accommodate, obviously legally, to help bring in any businesses, to help our county, our community, our district, I'm going to do it. Whether it's helping to bring in the road, the culverts, helping some way to get something with the utilities, or to go fight for funding for it, I'm going to do it. Because I understand we need jobs in this county, not just promises, not just talk. We need that action, and we all have to communicate and work together if we're going to make it work and make it strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person here this time will be Mr. Burleson. And I want to preface that real quick on this question, because I didn't want to, I'm always real cautious about not showing any biases or anything. We've never asked the county commissioners to come to a meeting that they didn't show up. I just think the reason I asked that question is because I don't think that we all get in the same room enough. And it's not, I don't want to say that that's a problem with Mr. Carter by any means. I've been in lots of meetings with all of the county commissioners, but just listening to everyone talk about jobs and the economy, perhaps we all need to do a better job of working together. So that's why I asked this question. So I apologize, and I wanted to point that out, that I wasn't attacking anybody who's in office right now. So move on, Mr. Burleson, and go back to the question of what can the county commissioners actually do to foster economic growth in combination with the cities that are in the county as well.
Right, and I've considered it a big opportunity to work with the other commissioners and other public officials around here to do, to make decisions that are going to benefit, our entire county, not just our district, but I will definitely look out for our district. That's my responsibility first and foremost. Mom and pop stores, farming, and ranchers and related business has always been the driving force here in rural Oklahoma. In Sequoyah County, recent additions of the Veterans Center, the resurgence of local shops, gyms, restaurants, and things like that have showed the potential for growth around here. Our location in relation to Lake Tenkiller, the Cookson Hills, the Illinois River, and I-40, those are strengths that bring big possibilities for our area. I'm always looking for new ideas as far as industry goes, but there's certain things.
And now we'll move on to Mr. Allred. And same question, what do you feel the county commissioners can do to help foster economic growth?
Well, first thing is working with the citizens of the county. Your city officials, your local, your state, your federal officials. Anything that we can do to bring industry into this district. Cherokee Nation, for example. I know quite a few people at the Nation. I work with the road department up there with the Nation off and on our projects in Cherokee County. The Nation is a big help to us, and I have a good working relationship with them as well. Well, comes right back down to, if you're wanting people to come into our county, into our district, if they're wanting to travel to Dwight Mission, this project out here, it's going to be great when it's done. We have got to have better roads. People have got to want to come to our district, but at the same time, they have to be able to travel to where they're wanting to go to without getting their cars beat to death and everything else. We don't have the worst roads by no means in the state of Oklahoma. We don't have the best roads either. Like I said, just maintenance is a major priority on getting people to stay here and getting people to come back in. Because word of mouth is a big issue. I mean, people talk. They'll tell you. I mean, people come to me and they say, Jay, this needs done over here, and then it's just all in a chain of command. It has to be taken care of. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And last, we'll ask Mr. Carter, same question. How do you feel the county commissioners can help foster more economic growth and work with the cities within the county?
Well, I'm going to put this out there. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to. But whenever this, okay, and I'll tell you, one night late, I was at the county barn, and I was on the internet, and I was reading some stuff on the internet, and I stumbled on this deal that said that they're going to relocate the Veterans Center from Talamina. And I'm sitting here reading this, and I thought, we need it in Sequoyah County. So I turned around and called one of the councilmen, and I said, are we going to do that in Sallisaw? Are we going to apply for that? He said, yeah. He's kind of reluctant. Well, yeah, we're going to do it, but we're not sure we're going to get it. And I said, well, you don't know if you're going to get it until you try. I said, you got to put out the effort to try. So it spurred them, and George Borman, George done a great job of doing this thing. He got it done right. He got all the people on board to do this. And we have met with them. I've met with them several times up there to talk about funding for it and talk about the stuff it's going to create and the jobs it's going to create. So on respect to what you're asking here, Marley, is that's, the commissioners do have can make a little impact. Now, when it comes down to actually producing jobs, the only way we can produce jobs is if we progress, if we show progress, do the kind of stuff that we got going here. That's the only way we can show a progressive economy that'll bring jobs to our county here and increase our tax base. That's the only way we can do it as far as commissioner goes. We can't go out here and solicit a manufacturing outfit from Canada like they tried to do here in Sallisaw one time. The commissioners can't get involved in that. We can't do that. The city can do it, but we can't. So on the respect, we can back them with it when it comes to that, but we can't really solicit that stuff as far as that goes.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. We will now move on to our conclusions for everyone. You'll have 3 minutes? 3 minutes for a conclusion. We will start, I kind of messed with the order just a little bit because that order wasn't going to work. We just did that order. So we'll start with Mr. Burleson, and we're just Burleson, Allred, and then Carter, and then Cobb.
In closing, I just, moved here when I was 4 years old. I wasn't born here, but I was definitely raised here. I understand the people that live here on June 30th, and I'm asking for your help and your support by your vote for County Commissioner in District Number 2. I feel like leadership, respect, and fair representation for all of our residents in District 2 are very important issues. Like I said, I will go out and aggressively pursue avenues for funding and build relationships with other officials to ensure the future of our district. Road maintenance, as far as growth goes, access is a big issue. That's the one thing that I should have said a while ago. I know that money gets allocated to certain things, but what's happening to the rest of our roads? How's that maintenance going? Our roads, when we do get that money allocated, do we have a foundation to put down on top of, or are we trying to build a foundation in 3 weeks when asphalt should last 13 to 18, 20 years, instead lasting 3, and you're coming back and you're fixing things? It's just about foundation. It's about the fundamentals. It's about those things. We do have a good crew here in our district. We do have a good road foreman. We do have those things in place, and with strong leadership, I feel like we can take this to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Allred, you'll be next.
I'd like to begin by thanking everybody for coming this evening, KMX for putting this on. Thank you all very much. Mr. Carter, Mr. Cobb, Mr. Burleson, thank you all. I appreciate y'all greatly, and our representatives, Mrs. Brindley, Mr. Randleman. In closing, we've all hit on the same issues tonight. We honestly have: maintenance, right-of-ways, signage, how to bring growth into our district. And as Mr. Carter once said, on that issue, that's really not up to the commissioners on that. I will have to agree with him on that one. But back in closing, I would just like to say thank you all very much, and if y'all would elect me, I will work tirelessly to support our citizens of this district. And leadership, I understand that this, with the COVID, we haven't seen the worst of it yet. It's going to get to us here in the next month or so, because it does affect our taxes. It affects our money coming in. It's just part of this game right here. But like I said, I would appreciate y'all's vote on coming June 30th. And if there's anything that I can do to please help y'all, just please call me and let me know. I will answer any questions that anybody does have. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much. And next we'll have Mr. Carter.
thanks again to KXMX and Sequoyah County Times for hosting this tonight and People Inc. Now, I've been your commissioner now for 15 years, 5 months, and 8 days. And during this time, we've seen growth, we've seen progress, we've seen all the above. And as your commissioner, it's really an extreme honor to be able to do that. And I think before I leave here, I need to make sure that I thank all the voters of the county for allowing me this time. For it's you that actually put me where I'm at today and give me the opportunity to be able to function in Sequoyah County and produce the kind of things that I've produced for Sequoyah County. And as your commissioner for the next 4 years, which I hope I get to be there, and with your vote I will, we will continue to experience the kind of growth that we're experiencing now, and hopefully we'll boost the economy to a more big level like we've got. I mean, like we want. We need our kids to stay here, and we need our kids to work at home. But it's hard to do. It's hard to do. I travel whenever I was working, and I can tell you it's something you have to do sometimes, but you don't like it. So as a commissioner, we have to keep progressing and try to do these things to where we can bring people here, because industry will come if we got everything like it needs to be, like I told you a while ago about the 3 things. If we've got those 3 things in place, you'll get the jobs. People will want to come here because it'll be good for them, it'll be good for us. People want to have these things to come and see, and I appreciate y'all's vote come November the 3rd, and I won't be on the ballot till November the 3rd, and I'd appreciate your vote then. Thank you, and I'd like to continue being your county commissioner. Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much. And lastly, Mr. Cobb.
The task ahead will be no easy one. It is not a one-year project. After many years of substandard performance, it will take time to get our roads back to where they need to be. It is not rocket science, but it does take a measured persistence, organization, and most of all, leadership. Bottom line, on our maintenance, leadership is lacking. There is no doubt that next year's budget will be smaller than this year's. This will present challenges that must be overcome, and we will. I believe that we need to be more aggressive in trimming trees or removing trees that interfere with the safe passage of our vehicles on our roads. We do have options that we can pursue. This will be a process that will take time to achieve and be continually ongoing from now on. When I see ditches full of gravel, washed out roads, trees scraping my vehicle and damaging others, when I see gravel graded up on the edge of the road blocking water from ditches, these things remind me why I'm running for county commissioner. We need to clean out our ditches, open up or replace crushed culverts to allow for proper drainage. We need to go down into our watersheds and clean out the obstructions which will reduce flooding and washout of our roads. We need to cut out the potholes and ruts. It's unacceptable to have potholes that don't even have any gravel in them after the road grader has just finished grading my road. We will make our roads safer. Poorly maintained roads cost us all thousands of dollars each year and can cost lives. I will aggressively go after every grant dollar that I can find to benefit District 2. I will work to upgrade our equipment through any funds available to us, as this will reduce repair time and costs. I will have a road foreman who does his job, or that person will be replaced. If a person is unwilling to do their job, they need to be replaced, and it's time. 2 weeks ago, the road that I live on washed out in 3 places within half a mile of my house, and it's still washed out 2 weeks later. I'm not looking to have my road covered in asphalt, just properly maintained. As county commissioner, you're a public servant to every single constituent in your district. Not just your friends, not big campaign donors, not just the ones you like. You serve them all. Even if they don't like you, your job is to do it without prejudice. We can do better. You, the people of Sequoyah County District 2, deserve better, and I promise you that I will deliver that better. Let me ask you this. Do you want signs or substance? Do you want rantings or results? Do you want promises or progress? I guarantee you that I will deliver. Once again, I ask you to vote for Mike Cobb, Sequoyah County Commissioner, District 2, on June 30th. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I know this has been difficult. I don't know how they're showing everything on TV. It's kind of odd being in basically an empty house trying to do all this, but everybody did a great job. I appreciate everyone very much. meant to ask you this a while ago. Everybody's talking about jobs and the economy. This is a great opportunity to tell everybody to fill out your census. If you're wanting new stuff out there, nobody wants more new stuff around here than I do, but the primary reason is we don't have the numbers. We need those numbers, so fill out that census.
And in fact, to second that, I was speaking with the city manager this morning, and he said the last time he checked, we were at about 50% answering the census, which unfortunately falls in line with the state. Surely we can do, if we're going to be above average on our counties, on our roads, let's be above average on our responding to the census.
Took me 3.5 minutes to do my census, so
Well, they don't really want to talk to you apparently, because mine was a little longer.
Mine wasn't that long.
I want to actually thank Marley Abel again for being our moderator. This is a free occupation he's taken up on behalf of Darren and I, and we certainly appreciate the time he spends working to get his questions. We certainly appreciate that, and you'll see him here again next Monday at 6 p.m., where we will have our Sequoyah County Clerk and Sequoyah County Sheriff candidates for their forum. I want to thank People Inc. again tonight, and early voting for the election is June 25th, 26th, and 27th, and of course, Election Day is June 30th. Until then, this is it for tonight, and we would appreciate the audience that's here, although it's like 8 people. So, thank you.
Sallisaw Lumber now offers a complete line of Guardian fiberglass insulation to lower your home or business's electric bill. Whether you want it blown in or batted, Sallisaw Lumber will professionally install Guardian fiberglass insulation for you. Remember, good results begin with a solid foundation, and that requires the right materials for the job. That's why the pros and do-it-yourselfers trust Sallisaw Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Molinex Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Molinex Electric. For all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cookson Hills Marketing Division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to promote with the pros.
Sallisaw Lumber now offers a complete line of Guardian fiberglass insulation to lower your home or business's electric bill. Whether you want it blown in or batted, Sallisaw Lumber will professionally install Guardian fiberglass insulation for you. Remember, good results begin with a solid foundation, and that requires the right materials for the job. That's why the pros and do-it-yourselfers trust Sallisaw Lumber for selection and service. The earth is our home. It's where we live. It's where our children play. And it's our responsibility to take care of it for future generations. Sue's Recycling and Sanitation is here to help keep our land beautiful. We provide residential and commercial trash service for Sequoyah County. We also offer industrial waste services. Call 918-773-4007 to sign up today.
When it comes to electrical jobs, leave it to the professionals. Molinex Electric can handle your commercial, industrial, remodeling, and control needs. Give them a call at 479-651-4933. Molinex Electric. For all your electrical needs. Do you need a little help promoting your business? With over 100 years experience printing your community news, the Sequoyah County Times is now offering high-caliber products that will fulfill your marketing needs. We will promote your business with thousands of great products through our Cooks and Hills marketing division. We offer apparel, bags, banners, calendars, mugs, pens, sticky notes, tech gear, trade show swag. We can print your flyers, your postcards, pamphlets, and so much more. Visit chm.cookson.news or call us at 918-775-4433. Remember to promote with the pros.